A BetterHelp ad. Lewis Capaldi partnered with BetterHelp to get word out about how important therapy can be.
Or I struggle most weeks to get myself up and ready and go to therapy or whatever. Like even like to open the laptop to talk to my therapist sometimes can be really difficult. But I do it because I realise how important it is for me to continue to feel good. Like 'cause I felt the best I've felt in a long time through therapy.
Learn more about online therapy at betterhelp.com.
Welcome to the Covert Narcissism Podcast. I'm your host, Renee Swanson. I am not a therapist, and you are not a victim. Welcome back to the Covert Narcissism Podcast, where we shine a light on the hidden cages of emotional abuse, and we celebrate the courage it takes to break free. In part one of my conversation with country music artist Caryn Dixon, we explored her powerful story behind Bird in a Cage, how she discovered her voice after years of feeling trapped, and the courage it took to finally step into her own freedom. If you haven't listened to part one yet, I encourage you to go back and hear it before you dive into today's continuation. Because in part two, we go even deeper. Caryn and I talk about the confusion of reactive abuse, that haunting question of, am I the narcissist? What it's like to rebuild trust after toxic relationships, and the beauty of creating music and a life out of honesty and healing. So if you're ready, let's jump back in to part two of my conversation with Caryn Dixon.
If I can inspire one person to go and find themselves again and so they can see that it is worth it and it is possible, maybe that will help somebody, because I feel like the one video I have out right now, the headline on the video is, it takes on average a woman 7 attempts to leave an abusive relationship before they succeed. I know the comments and the shares from this one video is blowing my mind. Like on one hand, I'm super excited about it. On the other hand, I'm like, how are there so many of us that
Yes.
are, and I know it's not just women. I know there's men too. In my life, I have men that have experienced this. So it's not just women, but
Right.
for my purposes in this specific video, I was speaking to women. It's crazy to me. There's thousands of interactions with this video, shares, comments, stories, people messaging me privately about their stories and how long it took them to get out and the crazy things that they had to do to get away. And
Right.
we need to keep talking about this. So I just will keep talking about this. I'm not even shy about it anymore, because too many women have come forward saying they need help, So
Yeah. No, there's definitely a lot of that. And how freeing is it to be able to stop trying to make everything okay, and you're in that cage and you're trying to do all the tap dancing, and now you're not. Like it's not you're not trying to control that narrative anymore.
no, I mean, you're not, but it takes a long time to get there though, because I mean, even very, very, very recently, I'm talking a couple of weeks ago, my ex was on a tangent. He'll say, he gets into these texting things, and I've learned to just not engage. Sometimes I'll get caught up in it and I have to stop myself, like, no. And this day, like this night, he was just going on about, I ran into a close friend of yours and they were shocked to hear the real truth. I filled them in on everything that would really happened. And he's trying to make me feel upset that a close friend of mine has now crossed over to his side. And I just responded back and I was like, no close friend of mine would be doing that. So if they're talking to you like that, they're not my close friend. So I don't care.
Right.
You can have them. Go ahead. Because any close friend of mine has seen the pain and has seen the things going on, has witnessed conversations. So I don't even care, because what am I going to do? And I did for a night. I was like, who could this friend be? And my boyfriend was like, there probably, first of all, is no friend. That's probably not real. Or if it is, it's not. It's someone maybe from the past that doesn't have all the information. I have to just let it go and be like, there's no point in trying to control that anymore, because it will drive you crazy.
It will drive you crazy. Yeah. How easy is it to just let it go, though?
Oh, well, I mean, it's
Maybe
amazing.
easy now, but
It's
didn't
so
used
easy.
to be.
Yeah, it's amazing how easy I was like, meh, I don't care. Whatever. It's the fact that I can do that now is just incredible. Because when a year ago, there's no way I could have let that go. I would have had to call my therapist up on an emergency session and been like, somebody doesn't love me. Like, it's not, so to be in a space like that, I guess I just like want to let people know if I can get there, you can get there, because I was in a terrible place. My health, I was sick all the time. My cortisol levels were insane. I was just on these crazy spikes of, that feeling you get where you're just like, your heart's beating, you're going to throw up. Like I was like that all the time, every day. Every day I had knots in my stomach. And I haven't had those feelings in a long time now. But, I think that took just me really looking at myself, being okay with telling my story. Not The more I tell my story, the more I talk about it, the less I care about anyone's reactions to it. I know
Yeah.
that I will air this episode on my socials. Somebody out there is going to be like, oh, can you believe she's talking about this? I don't care, because it's my story and I lived it and no one else did.
Yeah.
I care about my kids, obviously. Like, stuff like this is hard because they follow all my socials. And I talk to my kids all the time. We talk
Mhm.
they probably are sick of me talking to them, but I have to check in with them and make sure they're okay, because I want them to have a good relationship with their dad as best they can. Um, I'm not here to ruin that at all. This is my story and my life and my experience, and I'm working really, really hard at making sure that they have a healthy relationship, the healthiest they can, in our circumstances. So,
Yeah.
um,
I'm really glad to hear that. I tell people, a lot of times, and this is what I hear you saying, it is okay to care and still walk away. And we care because I know for me, because, he's the father of my children, because he is another guy on this earth,
mhm.
and as a human being. And so, yes, it is okay for me to, and I care because that's who I am. I am a caring and compassionate person. And so I do walk away, not with anger and hatred and bashing and like what you're describing. I get that, because that's not the purpose here. The purpose here is to let people know, look, you do have a voice. Your thoughts and your feelings do matter. You do get to shine in this life. You
Yeah,
do. And if somebody is holding you down and holding you back in whatever way that looks like, physical abuse, sexual abuse, financial abuse, emotional, verbal, psychological, all of it counts. If you are being held back in that way and restrained in that way, that's not okay.
it's not okay, and I'm not sure how we got to be where we were. I don't know what part of my life made me, for a short time, be okay with that, but I'm really happy that I've gotten through that. I think the
Mhm.
latter half of my life will be a lot more fulfilling. It'll be better for my kids. Um, and that is the thing. I still have love. I'm not here to be a monster. I'm not here to embarrass anyone. I'm really not. But I have to talk about this in order to help other people. It's just I can't not.
Right. Right.
Yeah, you just
Right.
that, and the freeing part about all of this is just you have to let go of the drama of it. So I think that I tried to coach for a little while. I really did. I was determined to kind of do what you do and like get out there and help women directly. It was too heartbreaking for me whenever I couldn't get someone to let go of that drama side of it. Like, you're not going to change this person. You're not going to fix them. They're not going to suddenly see your way. It doesn't work like
Mhm.
that. So to see women going back over and over again like I did it. It was too heartbreaking. I'm like,
Yeah.
"No." And I would lose sleep over it at night. I couldn't, and so my therapist was just like, "Maybe that's not your role. Maybe your role,
Maybe that's not your spot. Yes.
like,
But
leave
you have to find your spot and then let the others find their spot, and that works.
I couldn't handle it. I would be crying for these people like, "No, why did you do
Mhm.
that? I told you not to do that." So, like, my lane is here. My here is direct. I will write songs, I'll write music, and help tell people stories. I've had women come out that have inspired songs. It is another thing, like, my ex does think that every single song that I write is about him. I was like, "You're not the only person out there that has hurt me or done something crazy. So no, these
Yeah.
aren't all about you. Some of them
Yeah.
are inspired by things, but I don't sit there and write every single song about my ex. So it's
Yeah.
not like
But
that."
isn't it just like a narcissistic person to think it's all about them anyways?
Yep. Yep.
So there is the irony there, but I mean, I feel the same way because on my podcast, while a lot of this started with me sharing my story, it's no longer my story. I've got thousands of people that I work with. I've got, tens of thousands of followers that reach out to me, and now it's our story. It's not my story anymore. It's the bigger picture, the bigger story because now it's the story of a whole bunch of men and women who are living this.
Yeah, that's what you do. You end up taking on your shoulders the task of helping to tell other people's stories that may not have such a reach or a voice that's big enough. And because not
Mhm.
everyone's cut out for this, not everyone's cut out to go on a podcast or to sing a song or be a public speaker, but those people still need to be heard. So
Yes.
we can help in that way. And I'm so thankful. I'm thankful for everyone that's helped me get to this point where I can sit down with someone like you and be comfortable talking about this. My therapist and you like are just I have so much, to thank for everything just because I didn't even know what this was. I didn't know this was a thing. And I was talking to my therapist yesterday about like for whatever reason, it was so important to me to have it's not like a diagnosis necessary, but just like something that I could look at and be like, that is what I am dealing with. So these are the tools that I need to gather
Mhm.
so I can move on from this. Without that, all that was happening was someone would suggest something. Like I've heard the term in other therapy sessions, like, oh, narcissist. I'm like, no, that's not what it is. Because I only knew of the one type of narcissist. I didn't know there's all
Right.
these different kinds. So I kind of just dismissed that for years. Like, no, that's not what it is. Like, no, no, no. This person doesn't know what they're talking about. And switch therapists and switch and switch. So finally, when I had this one type, I was like, that's it. Like it was
Yeah.
like a light
Yeah.
bulb.
It's the kind of thing that when you start reading about it, the words jump off the page
Yeah.
because you know they're true. It's not about a diagnosis, like you just said. And I don't care about the
No.
diagnosis. I care about the recognition of, okay, this is what it is, because then you can start healing in the right way. If you don't have the right I mean, if you go to the doctor and you don't have the right, idea of what's happened, you can't heal in the right way to get the help that you need, the therapy that you need, the, physical therapy or whatever. It's the same kind of thing. If I can't really identify what has happened to me, I can't do the steps of repair.
Yeah, you
So,
can't because everything has its own path and things that you need in order to work on it. So like I know narcissists like there's a lot of overlapping parts of it, but in my experience, like this is a very specific type of behavior that is so here. It's just with that it's so like under the radar. What I'm trying to say. Um so yeah, for me that was I needed that. I just needed it.
yeah.
And it's really funny because I've been waiting for this moment because I knew it was going to happen at some point. I wasn't sure when, but he he came out and just called me the narcissist the other night. He's like, "You're a narcissist," and I was like, I was like, "Oh, there it is." I was like, I mean, don't worry, I've
Yeah.
asked myself this many times, buddy, but I no, and I just ignored it and I didn't respond. I'm
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
I don't, yeah, okay, but
When you've already asked yourself this a dozen times, you've already questioned it how many times on your own, having that thrown at you just doesn't phase you because you're like, "You know what? I've already thought through that. I've already dealt with that." And
yeah,
I'm gonna tell you that the people who are, narcissistic in life.
A BetterHelp ad. Lewis Capaldi partnered with BetterHelp to get word out about how important therapy can be.
Or I struggle most weeks to like get myself up and ready and go to therapy or whatever. Like even like to open the laptop to talk to my therapist sometimes can be really difficult. But I do it because I realise how important it is for me to continue to feel good. Like 'cause I felt the best I've felt in a long time through therapy.
Learn more about online therapy at betterhelp.com.
If they're not the ones going, "Am I the narcissist here?" They're not the ones self-reflecting and asking that question.
yeah, and
It's the people who do come to me and say, "Am I the narcissist here?" Almost certainly they are not. Now,
Yeah.
do they have some narcissistic traits that are flying out because of the situation they're in? Maybe.
Yeah.
But does that make them a narcissist? No, because they're the ones asking the questions and the
Yeah.
self-reflection.
Yeah, and I will be the first to admit, like, I'm sure that I had some narcissistic traits that I learned in order to deal with the relationship.
Absolutely.
I definitely had to manipulate certain things to get certain reactions or things done. I'm not going to deny that. I don't have to do that now in my life ever. I mean, the relationship
Mhm.
I'm in now, I probably am over the top with my communication. Like, I do everything now the opposite of how I used to do things. Like, if something bothers me, we talk about it right then and there. I don't let it go. Like, I feel like relationships like this are two ways in a way. Like, I know I enabled some of it because I didn't want to disrupt. And I remember early on agreeing to things that I knew I didn't like pretending I liked black and white old movies. I hate black and white old movies. I don't like them at all. I don't know why I pretended. I wanted this person to like me so much that I
Yeah.
just morphed into kind of whatever they wanted me to be. And even though I wasn't okay with it, I pretended I was okay with it.
Yeah.
And I don't do
Well,
that anymore.
good, good. And this is where I say the red flags when people go, okay, what are the red flags that I need to be watching for? And they're thinking about the other person. I'm going to tell you that the red flags you need to be watching for are the ones that are inside of you.
Yeah.
When you are sacrificing your own, desires or wishes, or I like this so much when you really know you don't. When you are maybe starting to get a little reactive back, these are the red flags inside of you. Those are the things to start watching for.
Yeah. That's really, really, really important. Those are the things now where as soon as I start feeling a feeling come up, and it's so different. I am so comfortable now talking about something that bothers me. We sit down, we talk it through. Sometimes we both need space to kind of process something. But to have your partner come back to you and genuinely say, I am so sorry that I did X, Y, and Z, or that it made, you feel this way, or I will try harder to try a different choice of words next time or something. To have a conversation like that, and for me to be able to be like, I'm really sorry I reacted the way I did. I was feeling triggered by past experiences, blah, blah, blah. And then to be cool and fine and still in love and not scared of your partner or scared of that they're hide. Like, I still have this tendency to think that, like, what he's saying is not really what he's saying. Like, he's thinking, like, because that's how it used
Mhm.
to be. Like, something would be said, but really deep down, that's not what it was. And so, like, I have to constantly remind myself that, like, hey, you're not in that life anymore. You are with somebody that truly, truly loves you and truly wants to have a healthy relationship. It is wild to me. Like, it's just night and day. It's
Yeah.
totally different. But
Yeah.
it exists. So,
It
we
does exist. And what you're building is a trust bond instead of a trauma bond.
it's a trust bond. That's exactly what it is.
Mhm.
And so this EP, I'm trying to think now. I think that we're in a cage those days. All but one song we have written together. So it's a really cool because we're in music together and um we co-write. So all of these songs, because we've had similar experiences and similar backgrounds through all of this, we're able to write and process a lot of these feelings together because we know
Wow.
exactly what we're feeling because we both have lived it. We're both out. We're both, moved on, and he's a little further back in the process, just because of the timing of things. But to be able to have that together is kind of like a therapy in itself. So
Yeah.
putting these songs out there is just not only important to me; it's very important to my partner as well. And this is part of the healing journey. So this is my therapy. This is my journal. These songs are mine, but they're not just my stories because I know that it's resonating with, like what you said. Like, these are the stories of everyone,
Mhm.
and they're all now able to be shared in a a way of a song. So, um,
Well, thank you so much, and I'm so excited. When does this release?
so the EP comes out September 26th. It's a Friday. I have already two songs that have already dropped. They're on my Spotify: "Bird in a Cage" and "Mama." Um,
Okay.
Arson song comes out in a couple weeks on September 12th. That one's fun. Now it's like my sassy, like, I'm gonna burn down your town. Like, it's just so funny. It's all metaphors. I did not burn down anything. But so these three are coming out, and then the full EP drops on the 26th.
Okay.
So.
And where will people go to find this? How will people find you if they want to reach out?
All of my socials are under Caryn Dixon Music. So let me spell my name Caryn. It's Caryn Dixon Music. I'm on YouTube, Spotify, Apple Music, all of the music you can find on any streaming platform, Amazon, Pandora. All of that's under Caryn Dixon. But my socials are all under Caryn Dixon Music, and you can find everything there. I try to post all of my songs, but then all of the messages and all of the things that I want to use to help other people I try posting everything and making sure that each song's message reaches the audience that it was intended for. So.
Okay. And for those listening on the podcast that, maybe don't see the visual, that Caryn is spelled Caryn. And so I'm going to spell that out for them, Dixon, Dixon, for those that are listening. So I will also include some links in the show notes, here and on the YouTube channel, so that people can find you and find, the music that you're sharing, because I think that's a great message.
Thank you. I appreciate that so much. And I'm excited to help share, this episode and work together. Just being able to find people like yourself and other people that are on the same mission and working together to help bring awareness to this and help to just find other people out there that want to talk about it is really important to me. And if I do nothing else with my music, that's all I want to do. That's worth it.
Like you said, if I can help just one person, and it makes my story make so much more sense. It makes my journey more worth it for every single one person that I'm able to help.
Yep. Yes. It's a great thing to have that opportunity.
Absolutely. Do you have any last words of hope for those out there listening?
Yes. The thing I tell everyone is, like, there is another life for you. Again, whether you stay or leave, you just keep learning and don't stop listening to the other stories. People, don't stop talking and reaching out to people. Once you find someone that you think can help you, reach out to them. Don't be shy, because I think that the more you talk about it, the more you can find paths to help you on this journey.
Mm-hmm. How terrifying was it the first time you told one person?
Oh my God. My parents, and their reaction was like, what? I was absolutely terrified to tell anyone. I didn't tell anyone. I told my sister and my parents at similar times. And they just couldn't. They were like, my sister, she had an inkling. She had some weird interactions early on that she was like, well, this makes sense. My parents, totally blindsided, but quickly jumped on board and supported me. So,
good.
Yeah.
Good. Yeah. I remember the first person I ever told. I think most people remember the first person they ever said anything to, about it. And you're afraid they're not going to believe you. What if they don't believe me? You're afraid of, what if they go back and tell that person? Or what if, there's so many things that just keep you trapped and not willing to speak up. And so the message I'm hearing is speak up.
Speak up. You may not like some of the things that happen, but it's worth it.
Yeah. Even if it's one person, tell one person your story.
One person, and then build from there, and then you'll find your way. I really think that if you're determined, you will find your way out. It might take a second, but it's definitely worth it.
Yeah. All right. Well, Caryn, thank you so much for being here on the show and for sharing your story and for the music that you're doing. I mean, the mission that you're on, I think, is a beautiful mission and one that I hold very near and dear to my own heart. So I very much so am looking forward to this release of your EP.
Thank you so much. And thank you so much for having me today. This was lovely to chat again.
Yeah, good to see you. What an incredible conversation this has been. Caryn has given us such a gift. Her honesty, her music, and her willingness to share the hard parts of her story so that others can find hope in theirs. From the cage she once lived to the freedom and trust she's building today. Her journey is a powerful reminder that healing is possible, even when it feels impossible. If Caryn's story resonated with you, I know her music will too. I encourage you to check out her music under Caryn Dixon Music. Caryn is spelled Caryn, and Dixon, Dixon. She's on Spotify, Apple Music, YouTube, all the streaming platforms. Her songs carry the same courage and authenticity that she shared here today. To those listening, Whether you're just beginning to recognize the hidden abuse in your life or you're somewhere on that long road of recovery, please know that you are not alone. I've said it before, and I'll continue saying it. Your voice matters. Your story matters. Your feelings and thoughts, they matter. And you deserve to step out of that cage and into a life that is fully yours. If you are in need of help, please reach out to me. You can find me at covertnarcissism.com. I am here and available. Thank you so much for joining me in this two-part conversation. Be sure to listen to both parts of it. And make sure you subscribe to the podcast so that you never miss another episode. Share this with someone who might need encouragement today. Until next time, take care of yourself and keep choosing freedom, one brave step at a time. I wish you so much peace on your journey of healing. You have been listening to the Covert Narcissism Podcast, where we break apart the insidious nature of these incredibly destructive and infinitely frustrating individuals. If you are caught up in this crazy-making relationship and drowning in self-doubt, guilt, or rumination, please reach out to me anytime. I offer individualized live coaching in both group and individual settings. We can find the right program for you. You do not need to go through this alone. You can find all of that information on my website at covertnarcissism.com. You can also reach out to me by email at Renee, R-E-N-E-E, at covertnarcissism.com. I do look forward to hearing from each and every one of you. Remember, I am not a therapist, and you are not a victim. I am a coach, and you are a survivor. The information provided by Renee Swanson, Covert Narcissism Podcast, and CNG Life Coaching is for educational purposes only and is not to be used for diagnosis purposes. It is not intended to be a substitute for clinical care. Please consult a healthcare provider for guidance specific to your case. This material discusses narcissism in general. Renee shares stories from her personal experience as well as from those that she has worked with for several years. Her material does not claim that any specific person has narcissism and should not be used to refer to any specific person as having narcissism. Permission is not granted to link to or repost this material to support an allegation or support a claim that any specific person is a narcissist. That would be an unauthorized misuse of the material and the information provided. Thank you.
A BetterHelp ad. Lewis Capaldi partnered with BetterHelp to get word out about how important therapy can be.
Or I struggle most weeks to get myself up and ready and go to therapy or whatever. Even opening the laptop to talk to my therapist sometimes can be really difficult. But I do it because I realise how important it is for me to continue to feel good. 'Cause I felt the best I've felt in a long time through therapy.
Learn more about online therapy at betterhelp.com.